Testing, testing. Is this thing on? It's very cool. As you can tell, there's some new things going on here at my little studio, aka my spare bedroom. And I've been doing a lot of work. Maybe the most noticeable right off the bat, you could see this Totti uniform. Thank you, Theoren, big Roma fan, Florenzi's hair, who advised me some while ago about how you should put this up the proper way. And I worked on that. I used double-sided tape, which is called like a certain type of fabric tape, which I used, worked really well. And then you're supposed to use pins like that you would get like if you were to open up a new shirt and like from Macy's or something, and you pull out all the little pins, seamstress pins, they're called. But I couldn't get them to go in. It was very hard. And then I tried to hammer them into the frame. That didn't work. But we've also got some other stuff. I've got over to off camera, a shelf that I put up. Got a little book up there. My Italy newspaper from Euro 2021 last year. Put that and I framed that. Of course, my jersey, as I said. And then another shelf, as you can see here, and some cool books. I've got the ones from These Football Times up there. One on Davide Astori, which I really loved. The one my buddy Irfan got for me from Florence. One on Pirlo, football and fascism, football, fascism, and fandom, and then Calcio. So maybe you notice a little bit of a theme here. And then over to the other side, which this one was a gift, the Roma badge from a friend in Siena who makes ceramics, who I've been buying from a long time, actually about 13 years at this point. Then of course the Totti in Monti, where it's the mural is, and then something that my friend 24 Designs made for me over there, and then the boss, James Gandolfini. And down below, you might notice the quality is a little different. I don't sound like I'm muffled or I'm in the closet or somewhere tucked away, but I got myself a nice microphone, and I'm guessing I see people in the chat, so I'm hoping that they could hear this. Hopefully this is hooked up the right way. Everything's good. I got my little light on to make sure there's enough light. Got my little scarf here from Switzerland. I'm not sure what to do with the scarves yet. I'm wondering, like, what is the best way to put these out? So this, I'm not sure how it looks to you, but this is slanted and it comes in this gray area here. So like I could hang stuff, but it might look a bit awkward. Maybe something with the scarves. I'm not so sure. I always feel like hanging up football scarves is kind of a little too traditional, but I don't know. Maybe it would look cool. Anyway, on other news, getting all the personal stuff out of the way soon. It's been the biggest week of my life. Besides redoing the little Roma room here, I have something to show you. I am married. Yes, it's been a very big decision. A year and a half in the works, and officially had my wedding at my church. Well, my ceremony. My wedding's not till next month. I had my ceremony at my church with my bride, and it was very beautiful. The priest did a great job. Was very happy with it. I had some family who came into New Jersey for it. Some friends, local, my buddy Claudio, who runs Roma Club New York, my buddy Gianluca, some familiar faces from within the Calcio community. So that was really nice. On another front, it's been big. It's been big stuff for Roma. A lot of links we see today that Matic has signed. We see that Palermo has gotten back to Serie B. In the headlines, Dybala is going to Inter. But the first thing I want to hit on today is Italy. And I mean, 5-2 against Germany is just like, and at one point 5-0. To me, it's horrendous. I don't know what Mancini is doing with this team, the selections he's making. And even before all this, I don't think that this Nations League is a good idea. I think these guys need to rest. They've been working nonstop. And I know how people sometimes feel. They're like, well, they're athletes, whatever. You know, they get paid to do this year round. Look at how much money they make. That doesn't hide the fact that after so many games and playing for so long that your body tends to really have wear and tear on it. And that's what I really worry about with players like Lorenzo Pellegrini or Cristante. And hopefully, you know, Spinazzola can catch his form when he comes back, or even Mancini, right? So I get nervous with how much they're actually playing, and I don't think that it's good for them straight up. But on top of that, what Mancini is doing with this team, how he hasn't stepped aside, to me, is a baffling. It's not going to be a coach like De Zerbi or Dionisi, a guy like that who's going to come in. It has to be someone a little bit older, more experienced. I would even love to see Sarri take over Italy after he's done with Lazio. I think he could impose a really good, little bit of a tougher mentality with them, because now I see a lot of softness. I don't see too much organization. I also don't see a lot of quality at times. So that's something to be said. But speaking about quality, there is a really interesting player, and this is great. I have my iPad here, so I can just look crap up while we're talking. I really like that. Wilfried Gnonto. I'm going to read you a little bit about Gnonto. He was a youth product from Inter since the age of 9. He joined Zurich, Swiss capital, in 2020. He's still only 18 years old. So 2 years ago, he joined at 16. Pretty interesting. He's of Ivorian descent, youth international for Italy. He took part in the with Italy's U17 in the U17 World Cup. That was in 2019. In May 22, that was his first call-up. And then he was included in the final 30-player Azzurri squad for the 2022 Finalissima, which, of course, didn't go so well against Germany. So just to look at the numbers, he's got 9 goals for Zurich since 2020, 59 appearances. But more importantly, let's get away from the stats for a second. He's a really interesting player to me. He's got a lot of energy. He's not afraid to take players 1v1. He shows like he has a really high footballing IQ. He slips in. He's a little guy. He's 5'7", same size as me. So he's able to kind of just break through the lines like that, skip past. It's really interesting player profile for Italy, especially as Lorenzo Insigne steps aside. There's not going to be Daniele Verde. So the little fantasista has always been an element of the Azzurri. So it's nice to see, someone come from not Milan. Well, I guess technically he did come from Inter Milan, but someone coming from outside of Serie A who's making his way indirectly back in. And I'm sure that in time he's going to end up back in Serie A. Honestly, I think before September. So just a little bit about him. He wears the number 22. He's from Verbania, Italy. Where is that? Okay, that's up by the Alps. Yeah, not too far. 57 miles northwest of Milan. So not close, but up there by the Swiss border. Very cool. So today Roma announces Matic, who I think is a really smart pickup. We see that Mkhitaryan leaves, and it leaves, play on words, also something to be desired in the midfield. Because of the starting midfielder, it's only Brian Cristante at this point. But now you get Matic, and which tells me that Mourinho is definitely going to play with a, I'll call it a double pivot, but with a 2-man midfield, because it's not like for like. It's not like if this guy goes up, the other one stays back, how a double pivot works. Because Matic's role, when he won the Premier League with Jose Mourinho, was one that was just more of a destroyer, a true defensive midfielder. Earlier in his career for Benfica, he entered that as a playmaker, but then the manager there actually transitioned him into a true defensive midfielder. So I'm happy about it. He's someone who's very good for the locker room, his experience, his tactical prowess. He's very good at reading the play. Up until very recently, he had one of the highest tackle percentages and numbers in the Premier League. So 33 years old, this is a guy who knows what he's doing. Serbian, 48 caps for the national team. It's big stuff over his career. Like I said, Benfica, Chelsea, went on loan to Vitesse at one point. And then, of course, as most recently, Manchester United, where he did a pretty good job. Now, I think he was in less than 62% of the games last season. So as he comes in, you're not going to expect him. Hey, bro, how are you? You're not going to expect Matic to come in and play 75, 80% of the games. He's a guy who will come in, though, and probably 50%, 50 to 55%, someone in rotation who could step in the big games, come off the bench, protect the lead. We have seen so many times this past season, even into the final of the Conference League, where Roma goes a goal up, and then they have to sustain the pressure from the other team, and at times they haven't looked so comfortable. a lot of times this past season that was up to Smalling, who did a really good job to protect the team from succumbing anymore. But it wasn't the midfield, because the midfield got stepped over quite a bit because there wasn't that natural defensive midfielder. So it's a smart choice for the next year or two. Definitely suits a need. And I don't think Thiago Pinto is done. I think there will be that top class defensive midfielder who will come in and rotate with a three-man midfield with Matic, maybe like someone. I don't even want to get into names. Maybe like Lucas Torreira. Did I just say I wouldn't get into names? Alongside, though, with Matic, I'm reading so much about Frattesi, Davide Frattesi, 22-year-old. Everyone knows him from Roma's academy. And I want to get, let's see what you found. You said, yeah, I think he'll use protect the lead a lot more. Yeah, I think that is totally Matic's MO, why he's being signed on from Mourinho. So let's talk about Frattesi. I liked him at Sassuolo. Was he a 40 million euro player, the number that's being floated around, which is most probably false? No, he's definitely not. Just because you score a couple goals from center midfield does not mean that you are worth 40 million euros. However, what I do see is a player who's confident on the dribble, is fast enough and slippery enough to get past and break those lines, and who's really fast and athletic, something that, well, you could say that that player is also Veretout, but Veretout is not so tactically disciplined. He is more of not a roaming, but a looser, all-out attacking, total attacking football center mid. Not for Mourinho, I don't think at all. But what Frattesi could be with that player profile, as he likes to surge forward, he's got a hell of a shot. And that confidence, things that I really like out of a center mid, is that he could learn to be that box-to-box on the side of a player like Matic. I think that is something which I desire very much. He also has a lot of what you call grinta, that tenacity of a player that you really want, that strength. He's got a good size on him. He's 6 foot, 1.84 meters. So 22 years old, 6 foot, midfielder from Rome, athletic, can score and shoot. I mean, like, you got to sign this guy up. You got to get him in the team. And I think that with the Mr. X, Matic, and Frattesi, Roma would have a hell of a midfield. It would be very exciting to me to see them play, especially with the great manager. So think of how this Roma has liked to sit back and then start on the counter. And I can't think that if Frattesi adds that little more tactical sense of awareness to his game, that he would just be so optimal. And what a great option, and really make this team, or this center midfield, his. I mean, that would just be such an interesting thing, man. I'd love to see it. Okay, so I didn't realize that Frattesi also went to Monza and Empoli and Ascoli. So he's been around. He's been jumped around. I don't really like when you see that happen. Who do you think we would sign to replace Mkhitaryan? I don't know if Mkhitaryan's role is going to be replaced like for like, because I don't think they're going to that Mourinho is going to revert back to a 3-5-2. I do see him going to the 4-2-3-1. So that short passing regista as he was, it was a really unique role for Mkhitaryan. I don't think that player is going to come, because if you were to think of a left wing who I think that this team needs, especially as they go back to the 2-3-1 up top, then it's someone like Guedes from Valencia, a name that's been floated around quite a bit. So I think that makes a lot of sense to me, rather than someone who has like a similar skill set to Mkhitaryan. I thought that player was De Paul, but it's going to be too late for that. I believe that Simeone quite likes him. Hi Wayne. If we end up with Frattesi, Celik, and Matic only, do you think we have improved at all? Let me stop there. I don't think that that's going to be it. I think there will definitely be a Mr. X. Mourinho, Pinto, the company, I think they understand that that's not going to be enough. Just looking at Matic's stats, 33-year-old, has played less than 65% of the games this past season in the Premier League. They know what they're getting, and that he's not visiting the fountain of youth. All these three would be squad replacements, or Sergio, and Veretout definitely not replace Mickey. So yeah, I was kind of getting to that. I don't think it's going to be a like for like switch for Mkhitaryan, but rather I do think we will see a left wing come on. Celik or Celik, I think that's a really good option too. Very interesting, especially as Spinazzola will go into attack more, and then Celik will be able to hang back as more of a stronger, big body right back and let the pin on the other side do his work. Someone like Zalewski or Spinazzola. Really want Neves since we couldn't get Bissouma. Yeah, they said something funny. Aston Villa said something like they wanted 100 million for Neves today. So I don't think that's going to be happening. But at the same time, they just signed Kamara from Lille, so I'm not sure what their game plan is there. I thought that was not the most shrewd business when you're going to ask big bucks for a player. Usually, what would happen in that type of situation is you sell the €100 million player and then you go and you get your replacements. Because if you already get your replacements, you've kind of shot yourself in the foot when it comes to the negotiation table. But before I leave this point, I just want to reiterate that I do think it's going to be someone like Guedes and not a direct, this short style regista center midfielder that Mkhitaryan was for Mourinho. It's going to be someone entirely different. It'll be Matic, another defensive midfielder, hopefully Frattesi and Cristante in the mix for there. I hope that Bove goes out on loan. Although I'd like him to stick around, it might not be the most best for his development. Aston Villa, Kamara. Oh, I'm thinking of Douglas Luiz, aren't I? Yeah, so I guess that writes that out. Good part. Good call there. So I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. Neves, when they start floating that number around, even if they're asking for like something like 100 mil, what are they going to take? 60, 65? I don't know if that's in Roma's ballpark because that would be a record transfer. So for me to like go out and say, oh, Roma's gonna set this record deal and I have like a lot of faith in that without seeing anything legitimate, I'm not so sure. I don't doubt that it'll be someone from outside of maybe the top 5 leagues. Like maybe they go and look at someone like who Atalanta got last season. Oh my gosh, what is his name? I'm forgetting off the top of my head. The player that Roma was linked to. Somebody write it in, please. He did really good. Atalanta squad. Somebody write it. Write it. Atalanta squad. I'm going to go crazy. Try and remember him right now. It was... He did really good. The center mid. I know you know who I'm talking about. Not Hadabauer. No. Come on. Come on. Where is he? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now. What is his name? Oh, I'm gonna have to go to Transfer Market. If you guys haven't used Transfer Market, it is the best thing like on the market right now. It's for free too. Coop Miners. Coop Miners. Yes. Thank you. Coop. So someone like that who might come out of nowhere, might come out of a league that's not as respected as much, and maybe even out of Portugal. Not that the Portuguese league is not respected, but just not a high-profile player. It might just be someone who Mourinho has his eye on together with Pinto. Gillis, what's up, brother? Yo, thank you. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Put a lot of sweat into this, man. A lot of trips to Home Depot. A lot of $100 bills passed on to my brother-in-law to paint this stuff. No, I'm kidding. He did that. He did a real good job, though. I was glad. What's funny is this paint kind of looks a little green. It's gray. It's supposed to be like a charcoal gray. And then I've got a pink futon that I'm sitting on right now. It's a lot of color clashing, but at least it goes with this Palermo kit. And I think that's a good segue here to talk about Serie B. So let's look at the teams. Before I go any further, I'm looking at the map right now on Wiki. And one thing that I love is that these teams are spread out. They're not all, we have so many teams from Lombardia, out from Lombardy next season, Northern Italian teams. I would like to see the squads more dispersed around Italy and not just concentrated in one area of the country. So, Como's in B. I didn't realize that. So all from Südtirol and Como up in the Alps, all the way down to Palermo even to the island of Sardinia, where Cagliari was just relegated, and Regina representing Calabria. So really, really interesting Serie B. Palermo, the reason why I'm wearing this, back after bankruptcy, they got sent down. They beat Padova in the playoffs, and man, this is going to be crazy. Let me read off these teams that we've got. Relegated from Serie A, Cagliari, Genoa, Venezia. Promoted from Serie C, Suditro, Modena, Bari, Palermo, who are their playoff winners. Promoted to Serie A, so who they're going to lose, Lecce, Cremonese, and Monza. Relegated to Serie C, Vicenza, Alessandria, Crotone, and Pordenone. So alphabetically here, we've got Ascoli, Bari. Bari's going to be crazy. Those games, those matches at the San Nicola, they're going to be so wild. Like, that stadium is one of the biggest in Italy. I believe it was built for the Olympics. It's massive. The support there in Bari is phenomenal. Benevento, Brescia, Cagliari, Cittadella, Como, Cosenza, Frosinone, Genoa, Modena, Palermo, Parma, Perugia, Pisa, Regina, Spa, Suditro, Ternana, and Venezia. Pisa, I wish they had gotten up, but now we get Monza instead. Only selfishly, because I really like that stadium. I got the chance to go out to Pisa when I was a student in Florence 13 years ago. So cool stuff. Teams by region. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. The most represented is Emilia-Romagna with Modena, Parma, and Spa. Then Calabria has 2 with Cosenza and Regina, Lombardy, Brescia, and Como. Umbria, Perugia, and Ternana. The Veneto has Cittadella and Venezia. And then we've got Puglia with Bari. Campania has Benevento. Lazio, Frosinone are from Lazio. Genoa are from Liguria. Ascoli are from Le Marche. Cagliari, of course, are from Sardinia. Palermo, Sicily. Suditro are from Trentino, Alto Adige. I think I said that right. And then Pisa, of course, are from Tuscany. So good stuff here. I'm really looking forward to this. I got to figure out how to actually watch Serie B, because that's one thing. It's like, oh, Serie B is going to be lit. I can't wait to watch it. But how do I watch it? Let me know. Tell the Serie B people, if they're looking for a guy, we'll get that thing started. I think that would be a good little show, especially as we look to expand this league, guys. Enzo, my dude. How are you, Enzo? I'm chilling, man. And thanks, Julius. I'm just going to keep that up there. I like that compliment. So we have covered Coop Miners. We've covered the midfield for Roma. I also hinted at Guedes, who could be joining. Gattuso just joined Valencia. And in the most recent press conference that I read from Guedes, or interview rather, it wasn't a presser, he said something along the lines of, I got to do what's best, for everybody, not just myself or Valencia, something very diplomatic, which players really don't speak like that unless they're really keen to leave. So that's what's going on there. Serie B. We got to do something about Italy, guys. If you have any questions, write in while I ramble. I'm going to go on for a few more minutes. What else is going on? Wedding is going to be July 4th. I'm going out to Italy. We're honeymooning in Sicily. Very excited about that. My background is almost half Sicilian, Palermo, and then down south by the Agrigento region. So although that's true, I won't actually be going to those towns. Not this time. One day I will get there. But I'm going to I am. We're going to Cefalù and then down to Taormina. So if you have any suggestions for me, please write them in the comments as well. And then the wedding is elsewhere. But yeah, we'll be out there for almost like 3 weeks. I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a hard year of work for me. I feel like the past year and a half, 2 years was really testing for me. But now things are coming together. I do feel like a reinvented type of myself, just building back up and really content, I think, to get life on a roll as of now as well. Yeah, it's been a lot. In that time, I've moved twice, got engaged, now, of course, married. I lost my dog. So there was so much like life events going on at one time. But now a lot of good things. And I'm really glad to have all this together. I know it seems silly. It's like, oh, you just have, your memorabilia up. But it's not that, because I worked on this myself and I did it. And I put a lot of time and thought into it. So I therefore I take a lot of pride in this. So it makes me happy to do that. And like this in itself, I read something the other day, not the other day, about a month or so ago. It's that people will put up with poor video, but they won't put up with poor audio quality. And then my buddy Marco De Marinis on Twitter, he mentioned, he's like, yeah, you need like a pro mic. And I was like, yo, that would make the difference. And I'm like a little stunad when it comes to technology, but I figured it out. And I think it's pretty good. And says, yes, bro. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And because of that, I teach during the year. I teach and I work for CBS Sports, of course. So I'm like, sometimes I'm never home. It could be like 14, 15, 16 days without a day off, where I just need to like get my head straight and stuff. But teaching it has been interesting as well. And I've always just tried to think about, like, I'm rambling now, just like supporting these guys, 14, 15, 16-year-olds, and just being kind of like a cheerleader for them and helping them. Sometimes there's days like today, man, where I'm just like tired and I don't want to deal with it. But, you kind of just have to suck it up in those scenarios. I read also today that Roma will be playing in Portugal, I believe against Sporting Lisbon. So that will be some type of Portuguese friendly. They did something similar last year, which was pretty interesting. The tournament that they spoke about that was supposed to be in December, late November, December, that's no longer going to be happening from what I understand. So what the Italian teams will do during the World Cup is, I'm actually not sure. They haven't released anything about that yet. Watch-alongs, maybe on days where I'm home and my wife is not going to be bothered by me yelling into my phone. But that's a good idea. I would like to. I'm a little worried about the audio coming through and them somehow copywriting me, because I got copyrighted last year by some vendor that owns Serie A's rights in, I believe it was somewhere in Europe, and that flagged my Twitter, and then that became a mess. I don't know if everyone remembers when my account got banned, and then I had to petition it, and after a few months, they finally reinstated it. But I guess I could always just keep the volume on low. That would be cool. I think that is something to look for in the future. To be honest, I would love to do that from like Roma Club New York and do like a live stream from there. I think that would be really neat, with like people celebrating around me and a lot of people involved. That could look pretty cool. But yeah, I appreciate that. I never know kind of what people want, because in my head I'm like, do people want to watch me for 90 minutes talk about Calcio? I guess not everyone has the rights. People want just to hear it and have someone to interact with. And, I guess that's one of the really cool things about social media. People use headphones to do watch-alongs. Oh, true. So I'd have to figure out how to. I think I would need a computer where I can put the jack in, because now I have my microphone hooked up into it's not, I don't know if it's a splitter, hooked up into a USB, into a lightning. It's connected to a lightning port, which goes into my phone. So I'm not using a computer at all right now. This comes straight from my phone. And then I just have my backlight on me right there. It's just not straight. Oh boy. So that would be something, I guess, in the future, for sure. Grab myself a pair of headphones. I know they're like $20 on Amazon. So, guys, it's been real. Now that I got things set up, I feel really motivated. It's good. I'm so glad the audio quality is on point. And I really appreciate the comments and people jumping in for your time. It's been like a half hour. That flew by for me. And this is definitely going to be more consistent. I can't promise that before July 15th it will be, because I'll be on my honeymoon. I just don't think that's going to fly. But I think you get what I mean. Anyway, guys, thanks. Leave a comment, whatever. Send it to your people if you know they're Roma fans, or just Calcio fans in general, because as I was just kind of pointing out, I like to do more than just Roma. I just talk about Italian football in general. If you have seen my latest, Mertens. Bro, if Mertens joins Roma, him, Abraham Pellegrini, then I think that would be a very, very cool look for this team. You get a guy, the Napoli legend. Please check out my article on Gentleman Ultra that I just did. It's long form. Might take a while. Sorry about that. But, I like to make these long stories. So, Enzo, great to hear from you. Yes. Thank you, fratello. Grazie, frate. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Enzo. Thanks, bro. Thank you so much. Guys, we'll talk soon. Ciao.